Credit cards are extremely powerful financial tools that help us build credit, learn about financial responsibility, and they open up a whole new world of travel rewards and luxury perks. But let's be honest, we're not all there from day one. So what I want to do today is talk about some of my missteps along the way in three key categories. Hopefully you can learn from some of my missteps or regrets. Keep in mind, we may be at different stages of our life or our credit card game. And if you do get any value out of this content, make sure you click that like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you want to help me get this in front of more people. So before I dig in on these categories, I just want to summarize all of this for you. And if there's anything you can take away, it's this. First, educate yourself as much as possible. Clearly, you're doing that watching videos on YouTube. There's great articles and blogs out there. You don't know how important that is, something that wasn't necessarily available to me early on in my career like it is today. Number two, it's get started with no annual fee cards as soon as possible. And I'm not the first to say this, and I won't be the last, but these cards are critical as you can keep them in your wallet. You don't have to cancel them later on in your journey, but they will help mature your credit history and the age of your credit. Next, it's spend wisely and make sure you pay your statements on time and in full. And this sounds like common sense, but 3 out of 5 Americans are in credit card debt. And check out this video above on some of the credit card basics, when to pay and how to pay. And last, have a roadmap. And this can be general in nature. I understand that life events happen, banks are evolving, credit cards are changing, and your spending habits are going to change. But having a general roadmap on when you want to target no annual fee cards, and then when you may want to target general travel cards that have an annual fee, is extremely important in my opinion. It's something you should consider. And if any of these cards that I talk about are of interest to you, make sure that you grab a friend or family member's referral link as it helps them get some additional points, or you can grab my links down below as it does help support the channel. In the last 13 years or so, I've traveled a good bit for work around the US and taken nearly a dozen trips abroad. And for the majority of that time, I've never really taken my credit card game and knowledge to the next level, meaning I didn't really understand what are my top spend categories and what cards best align with that. Honestly, I'm not really sure how I picked cards other than brand associations like Marriott or Southwest. Which brings me to regret number one, not identifying and maximizing my top spend categories. In a recent video, which I'll link above, I talk about credit card basics and understanding the difference in cashback versus travel rewards cards, which is really important. But before someone newer to the game starts to focus on travel rewards cards, I think it's critically important that we understand our top spend categories and our lifestyle. Are we traveling more or traveling less? Is our family growing or are we an empty nester? Do we own a home or do we rent? For some examples, if you rent, the Bilt MasterCard should be high on your radar, earning 1x per dollar on rent, which is unheard of. I don't personally rent, so I don't know more about this card and I'm not going to act like I do, but there's plenty of others in this space that do. Or if your family is growing, having a card to maximize your spend at the grocery store and wholesale clubs is key. For me personally, I use my Amex Gold for groceries and restaurants, earning me 4 membership rewards points per dollar spent. But there's more simplistic cards out there like the Chase Freedom Flex, which has an offer right now where you can earn 5% on gas and groceries for the first year. Plus that card has rotating quarterly categories where you can earn 5%. One of those categories for Q4 being wholesale clubs. Now, the Chase Freedom Flex, as I mentioned, does have rotating quarterly categories. So I would say take a look at the 2023 rotating quarterly categories and see how that may align with your 2024 strategy. There's some other great cashback cards to help maximize your top spend categories that I'm not going to be able to discuss today, but comment down below if you have questions. And just a last point, the American Express Gold does have an annual fee of $250. And some credits to offset most of that, whereas the Chase Freedom Flex, which is a simplistic card, has no annual fee. So my second regret would be not maximizing general travel credit cards. And for my first point about not understanding your top spend categories, this is crucial as that could be the difference in hundreds of dollars of cash back, if not more. But there are certain cards like the Chase Sapphire Preferred or the Sapphire Reserve, which can have their points redeemed for cash back, or they can also be leveraged for travel. And you can book travel within the Chase Travel Portal, which boosts those points by 25% with the Sapphire Preferred or 50% with the Sapphire Reserve. So $100 in cash back would now be $125 to $150. Or to take it a step further, having either of these cards unlocks Chase's transfer partners, which is something that I was oblivious to for the longest time. And I didn't even really understand ecosystems like Southwest points versus Chase Ultimate Rewards points. So if you have a Southwest credit card, the points that you earn are Southwest Rapid Rewards points, and they can be redeemed in Southwest's ecosystem for travel or shopping. But if you have one of Chase's general travel credit cards, like the Sapphire Preferred, those points can be leveraged in different ways. So you could either use them for cash back at a 1 cent to 1 point ratio. They can be booked in Chase's travel portal for a 25% boost, or those points can be transferred out to Chase's transfer partners, which is how you turn $100 into $200 to $300 or more. I did a recent video on how I hit the minimum spend with the Sapphire Preferred and then how I redeemed some of those points for additional value above and beyond what the cashback ratio would have been. So I'll link that at the end of this video if you want to check that out. And the third biggest regret that I have is not maximizing welcome offers and referral bonuses. And there's a misconception with credit cards that they're evil and that they negatively impact your credit, and it couldn't be further from the truth. And yes, you do experience a slight dip in your credit when a hard pull is made when you're applying for a new card, but that quickly rebounds above and beyond where your credit score was previously. The goal here is we're not spending more when we add additional credit cards. We're just shifting where we spend. So your credit limit actually goes up and your credit utilization goes down. And here's a quick example. So if your overall credit limit today is around $20,000 and you spend $5,000 of that every single month, your credit utilization is at 25%. So if we were to add a new card to this setup with a $10,000 limit, your new credit limit is now $30,000. If we keep that same $5,000 and spend every single month, your credit utilization would be slightly less than 17%. So adding a card to your setup can actually improve your credit utilization, which improves your credit score. So adding new cards to your setup can be extremely beneficial, especially when you can take advantage of welcome offers like some of the cashback cards with a $200 cashback offer for the Chase Freedom Flex and Freedom Unlimited and some other cashback cards, to 60 to 75 to 100,000 points and up for the travel rewards cards. There's a few ways to look at this and definitely some strategy involved, but ideally, especially starting out, you want cards that align with your top spend categories that also have nice welcome offers. And from there, you could target cards with slightly higher welcome offers that may not necessarily align with your top spend categories, but they offer certain perks and benefits and can help you build a bank of points to use for aspirational travel. So the second half of this year alone, I've earned more than 600,000 points between welcome offers and referral bonuses. So learn from me, get started earlier in your career. Make sure you're choosing the right cards for your setup. I hope you found some value in this content. Again, click that like button down below. Subscribe to the channel so we can get this in front of more people. I appreciate your time, and until next time.